Hello all, welcome again. Please subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe button and press bell icon. If you really like the previous videos and upcoming videos, please press like button. In STM32H7 timers, now we check into independent watchdog IWDG, where we will go through the overview, key features, a block diagram, watchdog integration, and then watchdog IWDG functional description, configuring hardware start, and low power modes in independent watchdog timer. The independent watchdog is used to detect and resolve malfunctions due to software failures. It triggers a reset sequence when it is not refreshed within the expected time window. Since its clock is an independent 32 kHz speed internal RC oscillator, that is LSI, it remains active even if the main clock fails. Once enabled, it forces the activation of the low speed internal oscillator, and it can only be disabled by a reset. One of the main benefits of the application is its ability to run independently from main clock. The independent watchdog offers a wide range of timeouts from 125 microseconds to 32 seconds. It is clocked by 32 kHz RC oscillator, which cannot be disabled when the independent watchdog is enabled. It generates a reset when the program timeout value elapses or when a watchdog refresh occurs outside a programmed timed time window. The window feature is optional and not present in all independent watchdogs. It is possible to enable automatically the independent watchdog after a system reset. It is possible to define the behavior of the independent watchdog in debug, stop, or standby mode. The independent watchdog registers are located in core voltage domain, which while its function are in VDD voltage domain. Let's have a look into the block diagram, then you will understand this. Okay. So as I was saying, that independent watchdog registers are located in core voltage domain, while its functions are in VDD voltage domain. Two clocks are needed. The APB clock is required in order to access registers, and the LSI clock is required for functional part of the watchdog. This architecture allows the independent watchdog to work even in stop and standby modes, isn't it? A programmable 8-bit prescaler is used to divide the LSI oscillator frequency. The 12-bit down counter defines the timeout value. As simple as that. Okay. If we see the integration of it, then we will understand better. The STM32H7 microcontroller includes independent watchdogs. That is IWDG1 is dedicated to CPU1 usage, and IWDG2 is dedicated to CPU2 usage. For each independent watchdog, it is possible to select the hardware or software start via option bytes. For each independent watchdog, it is possible to select if the watchdog will freeze when the associated CPU is in debug, that is core halted mode. Please refer the MCU debug unit, that is DBG MCU description, for details. The control of the behavior in stop or standby mode is common for both independent watchdogs. When OTP freeze stop is activated, the independent watchdogs are frozen when the system is in stop or standby mode. When the OTP freeze standby is activated, the independent watchdogs are frozen when the system is in standby mode. Both watchdogs are connected to APB bus of the D3 domain, APB4 bus. in fact, of the D3 domain. In this picture you can clearly see, like, both watchdogs can perform a system reset handled by the RCC block. After this, let's look at a functional description with a diagram which illustrates how independent watchdog timer operates. So here is it. When the down counter reaches 0, you can see the down counter reaching 0 in this program, in this figure on the left. Watchdog reset is activated. This happens when the application software did not refresh the window watchdog on time. If the software refreshes the watchdog while the down counter is greater than value stored in the window register, then a reset is generated as well. Okay. To prevent a watchdog reset, the refresh must occur when the down counter value is other than 0 and lower than the time window value. So independent watchdog hardware is enabled by the device option bytes. So that means, like, configuring IWDG hardware start how to do it. If hardware mode is enabled after every system reset, the watchdog automatically loads the down count with 0xFFF and starts to count down. To prevent any reset, key register must be refreshed at regular intervals before the counter reaches 0 and within the window, if this option has been selected. So configuring IWDG software start with only a few steps. The first step is to write the key register with value 0x00000, 4 zeros and 4 C's, which starts the watchdog. Then remove the independent watchdog register protection by writing 0x 4 zeros, 4 5s to unlock the key. Set the independent watchdog prescaler in IWDG_PR register by selecting the prescaler divider feeding the counter clock. Write the reload register IWDG_RLR to define the value to be loaded in the watchdog counter. After accessing the previous registers, it is necessary to wait for IWDG_SR bits to be reset in order to confirm that the registers have been updated. Two options are now available: enable or disable the independent watchdog window option. To enable the window option, write window value in the IWDG_WINR register. Otherwise, refresh the counter by writing 0x0000 A. 4 zeros and 4 A's in the key register to disable the window option. How about settings and reset flag? We will see further. I'm giving you the step by step here. So the IWDG time base is prescaled from LSI clock at 32 kilohertz, which we saw in the block diagram, right? The IWDG_PR prescaler register can be divided by the LSI clock frequency by 4 up to 256. The watchdog counter reload value is 12-bit value written in the IWDG_RLR register. A formula can be used to determine the independent watchdog timeout. It was given here. TIWDG is equal to, just make a note of it. The independent watchdog time is based on the LSI period and its prescaler as well as the selected watchdog counter and reload value. Note that the reset clock counter RCC of the product provides registers giving the source of the reset. In that way, the application can check if a reset is caused by an independent watchdog. Is this clear? Then we can move on to the low power modes. So one beauty of this is it is active in all modes, whether it is run, sleep, stop, standby mode, active if IWDG is enabled. Hope you understood the advantages of IWDG. If you like this video, please click the subscribe button, and for more updates, please click the bell icon for notifications. Thank you for watching, and wait for RTC and HR timer to be followed so that we can complete the timer session. Thank you.